Welcome back to TYT Sports. J.R. Jackson in the building.
Francis Maxwell here.
Not bad. Everyone
Close. I fucked up at the end. Sorry.
Everyone does it better than I do. Everybody. I can't even get close. And I literally sat next to him for 3 years.
Talk to him more than anyone else.
Yeah, and you realize that you talk to him. This is what people always say, by the way. Before we get into the NBA playoffs, and probably the best game of the playoffs thus far, the Rockets and the Spurs, Game 5. People always say, like, do you hang out with Francis all the time on the weekend too? And I go, no, I see him like 65 hours a week. That's enough. More than enough.
He's a fun guy to hang out with.
He is a fun guy to hang out with. I will agree to that. He is in Africa. He can't tell us why. I don't know what he's doing. So once again in the comments section, let us know what you think Francis is doing overseas.
What is Francis doing in Africa?
Could be a million things.
We're not even gonna tell you which country.
And sorry, I think I called Africa a country instead of a continent yesterday, which is bad. Game 5, Rockets and Spurs. You know, timing can be very funny. It could be, there's comedy to it because we had a discussion not long ago. These playoffs, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
We love watching basketball. So it doesn't matter if it's a sweep to us or if it's 5 or 6 games or if it's 7 games.
Right.
We like watching basketball. Some people, in general though, want every series to go 7 games. They want every game to be within 2 points. Not realistic, but hey, if it happens, sure. This was the game you've been looking for. This point, competitive, down to like last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime were exhilarating. Unless you're a Rockets fan, then it might have been painful.
Yeah.
But the Spurs were able to win a basketball game without their hands-down best player in overtime.
And the fourth quarter, honestly.
And the fourth quarter, which I kept saying because I missed. I'm watching the game. I'm looking at my phone because I'm a millennial. And so I'm on Twitter, tweeting, watching the game, going back and forth. And all of a sudden, there's like a 60-second stretch where I'm like, where's Kawhi Leonard? There's like 3:45 left in the game. And I know he went out, but why isn't he back?
Expect him back in. It was such an, he turned his ankle in case everyone wasn't watching the game. Because on top of the general, I guess, casual fan of the NBA, even fans of the NBA have this perception that the Spurs, on top of thinking the NBA has to have close games to be exciting, think the Spurs just cannot be exciting. So the fact, on top of that, it was a Spurs game that they were playing in. So no one really, not no one, but there was more of an opportunity to not like what's happening. So when Kawhi seemingly goes out with just like, you couldn't really see it happen. You're like, oh, he's hobbling, maybe, he stumbled for a second, it's fine. And you expect him back in. But then that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Danny Green.
And excitement ensued.
It did. His post-game press conference, Danny Green goes, they asked him, he goes, did Kawhi look like he was in pain? He's like, have you seen Kawhi's facial expressions? We don't know if he's happy, sad, grand, terrible, hurt, which is true. Granted, Popovich stands by the point that if you think Kawhi Leonard is quiet, Tim Duncan was quieter than Kawhi Leonard ever was.
Absolutely.
So there's a side of Kawhi Leonard that we do not know. Maybe one day we'll see him like,
I saw it a little bit. I've seen it a little bit. Not necessarily a series, but I've seen it a little bit before.
And before he turned his ankle, he could have put out the dunk of the playoffs, the dunk of the season, because he almost killed 2. He almost 2 Rockets players. Because my God, when he goes up and it's a perfect. He doesn't crank it back.
Yeah.
It's just like Statue of Liberty.
It's just power. It's just strong and direct. So I just want to point out that this is a testament again to the Spurs. As we mentioned in a roundabout way, they won in overtime. Danny Green stepped up in overtime.
He did.
Manu Ginobili stepped up and finished the game on defense in overtime.
Which you love. It's your favorite thing.
I love defense, man. That's another reason why I like Kawhi. It's the little things, obviously, and then they say it in sports like football. Defense wins, but we don't think that in basketball. So anyway, you end up in overtime without seemingly your best player and your 39-year-old veteran, who I keep forgetting he's 39 years old, until you look at videos of him when he had hair and you realize how old he is now. Right. Manu Ginobili. It's a testament to the way the Spurs play basketball, right? So it's a team effort. Kawhi goes down, you don't really see people panicking from the Spurs bench and from Coach Popovich's side because we'll put in someone else. Someone else is ready to play basketball. And I've always believed in that. I do not understand why you have, say in high school, I think we had like 13 people on the basketball team. My coach would play 8 of us. It's like, okay, there's these other guys that are in the bench. They play every practice. I think they know how to move their feet. If they didn't, you wouldn't have had them on this team.
Right.
At least have them in there to do something. So if you can insert someone else when your superstar is down, insert him. He knows how to play basketball. He's a professional. Why not?
There's a good formula that the Spurs have had for like 20 years, but part of that is when this situation happens, when and I'm not sure how many times Tim Duncan ever left a game. I'm sure it's happened in the past. It takes somebody else to step up. Now, Patty Mills was also fantastic down the stretch of that game. And I've been joking with one of my good friends who we've said, like, when's the Patty Mills game? When's the 37-point, 10 assist, 5 rebound, 4 steal Patty Mills game? Because Parker's had a bunch of those, and we go, it's the Spurs at the point guard position. Like, will we ever be surprised if Patty Mills hits like 9 threes and wins game 2 of the NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals? And the more I watch Patty Mills, I know he's not got the same skill set that Parker has. I did a clip yesterday. It's going to go up later, regardless what happens in the series between the Rockets and the Spurs, on moving on from Ginobili, possibly, because again, I know this sucks to say, he was having a terrible playoffs until that game, but it came at the most crucial point. He couldn't pick a better time to step up and really make that defensive play, dunk the ball. I still don't get how he dunks the ball, as we were discussing before. But so Patty Mills steps up Danny Green, and I thought the most important play of that game, there's like 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's either tied or the Spurs are down 2. And LaMarcus Aldridge, who a lot of the time when they put it on the block and you start seeing LaMarcus Aldridge kind of go to like the isolation basketball or want to work in the post, it's not Spurs basketball.
True.
Working in the post, dribbling, holding the ball for more than 2-3 seconds isn't how the Spurs get their easy buckets. But so LaMarcus Aldridge gets the ball in the post, makes one quick move, pump fakes, and wraps around a pass to Patty Mills in the corner. Mills missed the 3, but to me the point was maybe LaMarcus Aldridge making that's a mature move. That's a Spurs move. That's what ends up them winning basketball games.
Is this year 2 or 3 with him?
This is year 2.
Yeah.
And again, we don't understand how this same guy can get 6 points in a game or 40, and we never know. Because he has all the moves, he makes them, he'll get the shots he wants in the post. Sometimes they never go in, and other times they hit nothing but net. And it's like he's a streaky big man. I don't know if you've ever seen it. He's like a shooter who, it's Jamal Crawford is the microwave shooter, right? And not just him, Dion Waiters, the microwave shooter. He's like the microwave postman.
Yeah.
If he gets hot in the post, you can't stop him. But that's not Spurs basketball, getting hot in the post.
But you wonder, maybe that's something that will come. Who knows? And I don't know how much more time he has or what kind of more chances, but you have to maybe cultivate his mindset. There was a confidence he had in Portland that I don't think he was streaky in Portland. He was great in Portland.
No, he was so good in Portland, but I think he also got way more usage.
Yeah.
I think he
was number 1.
I think when people trade up or trade down their usage percentage to play with the Spurs to win a ring, I still don't think they understand how much they have to give up and how much they have to buy into a system. Because Kawhi Leonard is the perfect Spur for the reason that he is emotionless on the court for pretty much all those things. He doesn't celebrate, and he's happy to move the ball. He plays defense. Granted, this is a guy whose career high in assists I think is now 8 in the playoffs, so he's not, he's a wing. Now, he's not supposed to be passing the ball as much as people necessarily want him to. But it's just a different Spurs team.
So this is what always comes up now. We know that Tony Parker's out. Maybe there's a left turn in it, but Tony Parker's out. Kawhi said he's going to play Game 6. We don't know to what degree his ankle's hurt. Kenny the Jet on TNT said it looked like he was gimpy and not injured, which is I think a really good a good observation. If you're just kind of, it hurts, you can get treatment. Shaq said the same. He goes, he's gonna be back. There's no way he's missing any games. He's fine. Which, guys play kind of hurt during the season, especially in the playoffs. He's gonna be fine in that aspect. You just wonder, I always wanna see the next series be the best team that can possibly play against say, the Warriors.
So you want to hobble.
Yeah, so you've already lost Tony Parker. I think Kawhi's gonna be fine. But just, in your opinion, first of all, who do you think is going to win the next game and then therefore maybe the series, which would determine, obviously? And also, who would you rather see play the Warriors? Because nobody wants to see the Warriors go through a third straight sweep of someone. Who has a chance?
I've been taught to never bet against the Spurs. Just never do it. It's a bad idea. Because if you've bet the NBA champion for the last pretty much 13 years, well, in 5 of them, if you took the Spurs every year, you've probably done pretty well, right? Because their resume speaks for themselves. I think the public wants the Rockets.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the ratings want the Rockets because then you get 125 to 124 every single game. And you get, James Harden's an exciting player to watch. The Rockets are a fun team to watch. I want to see if Greg Popovich could figure out the Warriors puzzle. And look, we've seen it in the regular season. He's blown them out in the regular season. But I think if it's not this year, we might not get it then. If we don't get the Warriors-Spurs Western Conference Finals that we wanted the year before, I wanted it. I think that's the series that is guaranteed to go 7. I know some people believe the Rockets can beat the Warriors. I don't think they can go more than 6 games, though. Besides the fact, again, the Warriors are going to be coming off, a full week of rest? The Cavs are coming off a week of rest. There's still another game to be played. There could be one more.
Right.
They play tomorrow night, I believe, Thursday, the Rockets and the Spurs. And then they possibly will be playing on Saturday. And then the Western and East Conference Finals start on Monday. And then the earliest it can start is Saturday. So the Warriors would have a week off.
So again, and we're talking about the age of the Spurs. If they have to go through a 7-game series, I mean, I keep saying it, but they're not all old. But we think about the certain components that are there. Paul Gasol is not a young guy. And we keep talking about.
Pop was pissed with Pau Gasol. You said that to him.
That was
do you know what he was yelling about?
Over Patty Mills having a pump fake, that 3-pointer that he would have made, seemingly because he made it after the buzzer. But Paul didn't get the hell out of the way. Because that's why he drew more attention. It took him longer to get it off.
Yeah, it was funny because he immediately goes after him. I'll leave you on this, on the Manu Ginobili, the quick Manu Ginobili story that I know from Tim Duncan interviews and Pop interviews. Popovich always said that he was excited to bring on Manu Ginobili. He's 26 years old when he came to the NBA from Argentina. And Popovich, according to the reports and the stories, he's in his coaching, his office in the Spurs training camp, and he's pumped because he's telling Duncan and he's telling all the old Spurs. He's telling Diao at this point, I'm sure, we have this guy coming in from Argentina. You haven't seen a Euro step play. He's going to revolutionize how we play this game. He's got a 3-point shot. Just wait till this guy comes in. And so he comes in the first day, I believe, for practice, and Duncan just throws him the ball from the 3-point line. He says, shoot, and he bricks it. And Tim Duncan walks over to Popovich. He goes, Argentina. Just great. So, old man Spurs, old man Ginobili, that will never get old. He did it against the Heat. Remember when he dunked in the finals and we all were like,
yeah.
Could you imagine if he's 43 and just all of a sudden pulls a windmill out?
I'll look forward to that.
Who wins the series? It's not over. Rockets probably will have an answer. Harden, man. A lot of Spurs in this clip. What happened with the Rockets really quick is Harden, not just that Harden couldn't hit, the Rockets couldn't get a shot they wanted. That's what it looked like to me. Every shot they took in overtime looked like, I don't think you guys want that 3. For a team that shoots threes, Ryan Anderson looked pretty good, though. Anderson's got tickets to the game. Comment below.